All right, today is Wednesday, June 10th, 2020. This is the Kubernetes CSI implementation meeting. So the main topic for today is the 119 development and status update. I forgot to mention this earlier this week, but we actually do have a deadline on Friday, which is to open up PRs for placeholder docs. So if you are working on a feature, please go ahead and open the placeholder docs. I think you don't have to actually put any content there. Just open a PR that doesn't, so that the docs team can start tracking it. So let's go down our 119 status. Let's see. First up on this list, I am trying to debug a race condition in the attach detach controller that's showing up in this test flake. I haven't had a chance to look at it the last day or two, but I should be able to start taking a look at it for the rest of this week. Next, we have Patrick's items. I think he's not here, so we will skip the updates for now. Next up, there's a scalability fix for in the attach controller. I believe the PR is getting close. I think I forgot if the unit tests are still failing. I think, oh, it looks like it's passing. So I'll just double check to see if this is ready to go. I know there was some strange flaky behavior that they were trying to investigate. So this should be close to merging, I think. And then we can work on backporting it.
Hey, do we need people other than SIG storage to approve? Because I think this might touch other areas other than storage. Or
we might need some, we might need some other approvers because it's touching the, I think it's touching the command, queue controller manager command.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll need to get some approvers for that, but it's mostly plumbing stuff. Nothing like, it shouldn't be that controversial, I hope.
Okay. Yeah, he said, I asked him about the check the volume attachment. He said that's going to be done later. So basically the volume attachment, rather than checking whether the volume attachment exists or not, he's checking the attached true or false
status.
Yeah, he said
I see.
Make that change later in the part of the cleanup thing.
Yeah, I think when we discussed it, we said in the worst case, we would, so like this function only gets called after the volumes have been marked attached. So that means if the status was actually false, then that means either we haven't updated the informer yet, or we are potentially on our way to detach. But I think actually on our way to detach, we don't actually modify the status back to false. So, and then in the worst case, we would mark the volume as detached a little early, but that doesn't actually that doesn't trigger a detach. So what would happen is the next time in the reconciler, we would go see that it's marked as detach and then just call attach again, and then that should fix itself. So I think we determined that because we are able to recover from it and because it's not going to trigger a detach, that it was safe to leave that out of this and to do it as part of a cleanup later.
Okay.
All right. I think next up we have the save volume data cleanup.
Yeah, so he updated the PR by one place, but one place he has left it out. Like, I will comment on it and then try to get this moving forward.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Let's see. Humble was making a fix here. I think I left a comment on it yesterday. I'm not sure if you had a chance to take a look. I think Xing, you also had a comment on this
Yeah,
one.
did he change it yet? I'm not sure.
I don't think he's changed it yet,
Oh,
but basically, yeah, my suggestion was to not set a default value and to leave it blank.
yeah, I think that's actually better. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
none looks a little weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like he hasn't had a chance to update it yet. We can give it a couple more days.
Okay.
All right. Next up is image publishing. I think Patrick still isn't here, but I think we're getting very close to this. It looks like Patrick did a test run with promoting a new CSI test to the GCR repo, and that's looking good. We had also promoted a bunch of like the last releases of sidecars as well. Those we didn't actually build using the new build infrastructure. We essentially just mirrored the tags from Quay. So I think we're getting really close to be able to call this done. I think the last thing that's sort of going on is we're actually trying to see if we can consolidate the number of image repositories that we are managing. So we created an image repository for CSI and we called it Storage CSI. But actually there is some other work going on in the SIG to also migrate over some of the non-CSI stuff, like the NFS external provisioners and Gluster external provisioners, and they also need a image repository. And so I think the current thought is that we should just have one image repository for all SIG storage sponsored projects. So I think the current proposed name is SIG storage or Kate's SIG storage, something like that for our repo. So I think once that is created, then we can just update the scripts and stuff that we have to point to that instead of the storage CSI one. So I think end conclusion is don't use the storage CSI image repository just yet. We'll probably end up abandoning that one and going for a generic SIG storage repository. All right, we'll skip over Windows. Next is volume health.
Yeah, so I think House, the changes in WalkDriver that's being reviewed, I think there's some new comments there needs to be addressed. But at least the current tests have passed the CI. And I think Nick has finished addressing my comments. I need to take a look. Also, this CSI voting house, I think it does not need a doc, entry doc, so we're good with that deadline. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome, thank you. And then now we have snapshots.
Yeah, snapshot. So I addressed the Shanchan's comments on my PR, and I just pinned him. He's going to take another look. And I think the rest of those we're still waiting. I need to take a look of that one. Move the package out. That thing. I think it seems to be a little stuck right now because of the path thing. I need to give a try and see what's going on. And I see that Grant has been addressing comments on that EQ test. I don't know if it passed all the failure yet. And then for the metrics, I think Shangtian said someone in his team is going to work on that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Cool. Making good progress there. Next up, we have volume expansion.
Yeah, so Zing reviewed the PR about adding the sanity test for node expand volume so that we verify that node expand volume succeeds even if it is called after node publish for all the plugins. I'm waiting for approval, and then I have another PR for volume in use that Singh had some comments, and I think I addressed them, should get merged. I opened a PR for recovery from resize API and partially implementation. At least like the API is completely implemented, quota thing works, that unit tests are there, so it's ready for review. The only catch that I have found while one catch I have found while uh, actually stopping resizing when user reduces the PVC sizes, like for only node expandable volumes, like volume types that are only expandable on the node. It's bit tricky because in that case the external resizer performs a no op expansion basically and changes the size of the PVC to match users requested size, and then the kubelet checks PVC status with PVC spec, PVC status with PV spec, and issues not expand volume call. So in that case, if the user reduces the size to cancel operation that was pending on the node, so in that case, it's like we'll have to actually reduce the PV size to make it cancelable on the node. And but for plugins that implement both, it's not a problem, because in that case, if there's a resize pending on the node, then it should not be canceled if you reduce the size. But for plugins that are only node expandable, yeah, we'll have to reduce the PV size. And I was thinking about it, and I think it should not be a problem to reduce. It should be safe to do. It does not require an API change. But yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, thanks for digging in deep on that.
And I have to also implement the volume in use error in kubelet. I have a PR open that you reviewed it. I think I'll open another one, but yeah, but it should be done by this week or next sometime.
Okay. Awesome. That.
Someone, there is one change. Is that this one? An extra. Can you go back? I just don't know if you have already made that change. There's one thing that added in CSS back the node expansion. Maybe it's that one extra field. Is that one down? Or is it still?
No, that needs to be Zing. Sorry, Michelle has some comments. I need to address those.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Let's see. That's all I have tracking here, but I know we have more, like the CSI driver changes for FS Group and SE Linux.
There's one issue that I need to create for including an optional support FS group on CSI drivers. That's still targeting 119. And the status of that is I've included the code changes. I've updated the unit tests, and the unit tests are passing. I've walked through them with the debugger, and it looks correct, but I'm having problems manually testing it. So I will get a PR open for review, and it will still likely need a little bit of work after the review.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Any other topics that anyone wants to talk about?
SLNX PR, I'm planning to review it today. I know Jan opened it last Friday, I think. So it hasn't seen any eyes yet. So yeah, but yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, today I also plan to try to go down a bunch of doing the API reviews.
Oh,
All right. Any?
I have a question. So for so for the other sidecars, when we are using the Kube client, we always just use the default, right? The throttle, the default is pretty small. So if we are doing some scale testing, it's always like a bottleneck. We don't have anything to make them adjustable right now, right? It's not configurable, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think we only have the only things we have configurable are the number of worker threads
Okay.
for
Because I think
our
actually that is
controllers.
limited by the throttle actually. Is that
Okay.
yeah.
If you want, if you're seeing that like the default is really low, then I think it would seem reasonable to me to be able to raise that.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, we are doing some performance test, and it seems that is limiting. It's just yeah. Even though I have 10 threads, it's just only like one can pass at a time. So, but yeah, I will see. So if we found out that we really should make that adjustable, then maybe I will bring this up again. Maybe we should add that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
And someday in the future, I would like to add like the CSI mock driver into scalability tests in
Mhm.
the scalability framework, so that we can actually start running scale tests on CSI.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, that'll be good. So that can be caught early.
All right. Any other topics? All right, then we'll end the meeting for today. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you all very much.